All right, welcome back, everybody. You are tuned into the Now Morning Show, and Lisa's having some fun breaking up the dance moves a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta give a little shimmy,
Yeah,
People look forward to their shimmy. I've been shimmying for a while.
You just shake off the bad vibes,
Definitely.
as we do, always, All right, so we're about to find out what's on the menu. Today we talk with registered dietitian Tessa Hampton about hypertension and healthy eating. Welcome, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for joining us this morning, and let's jump right into it. Define for us what is hypertension.
So hypertension is a condition where you have chronically elevated blood pressure. So as a result, the pressure is putting resistance on the arteries and is causing the heart to have to pump harder and faster. So after a while, it starts to wear down.
And I understand that Hypertension Day is coming up soon. When is it?
So it's actually Sunday. It's celebrated on the 17th of May.
All right. And for that day, what is done in Trinidad and Tobago, or at least with Tandy, to commemorate or to raise awareness about the day and the disease itself?
Yes, so it's actually a global thing. So it's not just here in Tandy or the Caribbean, it's a global initiative. So we are commemorating it as well. So we're using today to highlight the importance of knowing your blood pressure, what are the risks, and how we could control it.
Well, let's start answering some of those questions. What are the risks that increase the chance of someone suffering from hypertension?
So there are many risks. So the first thing is if you have excessive weight. So the more weight you have, the more likelihood of you getting this non-communicable disease, which is hypertension, high blood pressure. Also, if you're physically inactive, if you smoke, if you have an unhealthy diet. So if it is that you are consuming food with a lot of sodium, a lot of unhealthy fats,
right.
All these are your risk factors that you have to bear in mind.
Now,
and hypertension has no symptoms, so it's not to say that you could just go along and wait until you are diagnosed. It's something a lot of people don't even realize they have.
So how would you find out then that you have hypertension if it does not have symptoms?
Sorry?
How do you find out? How do you become aware that you have hypertension if it does not show symptoms?
So you are suggested to try and test at least once a week, especially if you have a genetic family history.
Okay.
And watch what you're eating. If you don't have access in these times to a blood pressure kit at home and you're not going outside to get it, you should still watch your diet. Watch the amount of sodium that you're consuming, drink more water. You could also offset some of the sodium that you're eating in your diet by eating more high potassium foods. So things like green leafy vegetables, things like bananas, things that are high in potassium, they tend to balance it out in the body. But you need to test. That's the only way that you will know for sure what is going on. There are very few cases where people notice their blood pressure is extremely high, they get a pounding headache, but that is not a confirmed medical symptom.
Right. Is age a factor that increases or decreases the risk of someone getting hypertension? Because I recently had a friend that passed away as a result of hypertension, and he was just about my age, 32, 33. Is age a factor as well?
So age is definitely a factor. Now, in the past, we used to see age being a factor 50 and beyond, but it's happening now to very young people. And another contributing factor is stress. We live in a stressful world, stressful environment. And you need to find ways to manage that. One of the best ways to manage it is through the use of exercise, and for some other people, meditation. But everything in the body is connected and will affect you. So we need to be careful what we're eating and how we manage our lifestyle.
Well, let's go a little more in depth and how do we control blood pressure, with the use of diet and with lifestyle changes? Tessa, can you hear me?
So what I suggest, plan out your meals to make them balanced. So you're going to include healthy fats, you're going to have whole grains, you're going to have lean proteins, you want to watch your sodium. So, when we're cooking, we just tend to put salt in our meat and season it, and then we're putting salt more in the pot. So you need to start to gradually cut that down to retrain your taste buds. We're supposed to have a limit of 1 teaspoon or 2,300 milligrams of sodium for the entire day.
Wow.
Generally, if we eat an outside meal, you're hitting that daily maximum one time. So you really need to be mindful of that fact and the fact that a lot of foods naturally have sodium in it as well. So it's just about being mindful of what you're putting in your body and using fresh seasoning and different cooking techniques to infuse flavor into your food without the use of too much salt.
Well, as you mentioned cooking there, what are some cooking tips you can offer that will help lower blood pressure?
So some cooking tips include green leafy vegetables with every single meal. So let's say, for example, you're making an omelette your home. You can include some bhaji in that omelette or some spinach. Let's say you had leftover pak choy. That could be at the side with some eggs, for instance. Or if you're vegetarian, we could do a smoothie. So it's just about putting those things in. And as I said, watching how we season our meat and our packaged snacks. So remember, nothing is wrong with some prepackaged foods. Once you're looking at the nutrition facts label, always look at the sodium content. And you want to make sure that sodium is less than 20% daily value.
Wow,
These are little tips that will help you along your way and get in your daily exercise.
From the point of view and from the purview of a dietitian, are there certain ingredients one can use to help lower blood pressure? Did you hear me, Tessa?
So you can use have health benefits. I'm sorry, we promote the DASH diet. So the DASH diet, anyone at home, they can look it up. It's called the Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. And it focuses on different food groups. So a lot of green leafy vegetables, whole grains, limiting your sodium. So it's a great diet to follow if it is that you are diagnosed as hypertensive or pre-hypertensive.
There, there's an old, the old folks remedy or traditional remedy that people say garlic helps to lower blood pressure. How true is that?
So it can also lower your blood sugar. However, that is more going into, I would say, the naturopath kind of genre. So we just try to tell you to eat everything that is healthy for you, but the diet that is prescribed for hypertension is really DASH. So I think we eat a lot of garlic, etc., a lot of seasoning in our food, but it really comes down to the quality of food we're eating. A lot of high processed food, etc. So that is what you really need to look at.
All right. Well, with that one, I want to thank you for joining us this morning, Tessa Hampton, registered dietitian with the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Nutritionists and Dietitians, for educating us this morning and giving us some tips on how we can manage our diets and our lifestyle to decrease our risk of becoming hypertensive. And again, on Sunday, there is the World Hypertension Day, and you can look online and find information from Tandy and from other organizations that can give you more info on that. All right. With that, we're going to take a short break and come back. We are coming back with much more.